Well, Luis, tomorrow is my birthday, so I could assume that this is a pre-birthday lunch.
Yes, this is the start.
This is the start of feasting for my birthday.
Well, this is leftover pilau that I made yesterday for my niece because since we came, she given us American food. And I said, girl, I think it would be nice for me to cook a meal for you all.
Trinidad
So
pilau.
I did Trinidad pilau with chicken and all the nice good green seasoning,
Pigeon peas.
pumpkin and pigeon peas,
More peas than rice.
peas and rice. But some left over, so I am just glad we are going out for dinner tonight to celebrate Lance's birthday. So I'm really glad to have some leftovers that we can have for lunch.
So, folks, I met Louis on my 21st birthday, you know. 21st birthday. Excuse me.
So his birthday is very special because it's not just a birthday celebration, but it is anniversary, an anniversary on how long we know each other. So you are going to be 74, and we would have been 53 years knowing each other.
53 years knowing each other. I don't know who get the medal.
50-50, man.
Half of the medal is ours.
50-50, we're going down. 50-50, medal belong to you. Half for me and half for him.
You know, a love story is a fantastic thing, you know. I was just reading about Prince Harry meeting Meghan. And the kind of thrill that was going through his mind when he met Meghan. How it maneuvered into a marriage. Our excursion into marriage, quite interesting, you know. Those were the days when I worked for about $25 a week. But you could go to a Chinese restaurant and pay how much money?
$10.
$10 for a super meal.
Chai su kai fan. Vegetables. And the chai su kai fan had chicken Chinese style and what was the name of that pork again? Not crispy pork, it was a pink pork. Anyway, Fuyong Kai Nip was the soup. $10. And that we used to have a good date for lunch.
I wonder how she knew all these Chinese food. Who is the carrier before me? You were so versed in all these Chinese foods. I wondered, who was your date before me? A Chinese man?
Not a, oh, I had a little half Chinese boyfriend. So,
But he couldn't eat with chopsticks.
no. He was a half-breed like myself. Anyway, when I met Lance on his 21st birthday, I think I might have talked this story already, I'm not sure. But it's such a wonderful love story that I never get tired of talking about it. When I went to Lance's birthday party, actually, I never knew Lance. A friend of mine, Corinne, who is responsible for us being together, she's still my best friend, one of my good friends, best friend.
She's responsible, all right.
She's responsible. So I owe her and appreciate her ever introducing me to Lance. And when we got to that party, it was in 1970. That was the days when it had the upheaval in Trinidad, the Black Power. And there was a state of emergency and a curfew hour. So the party was an all-day party, but you had to leave to get home at 6 o'clock in the afternoon. But we never got to the party until maybe like 4 o'clock or thereabout. So our time to be at the party was going to be really short. So I was happy it was love at first sight because it was just about first sight. And that was it.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't have much time. And apart from which, he was just busy with all these different girls, dancing with them all. And I thought, boy, this fella, all these girls here, this fella is a real Dick Romano? Nick Romano?
Mm-hmm. Nick Romano. Only old timers will know that show, you know. Nick Romano.
However, I met Lance, and I did get one dance with him. And I could have danced all night. But we had to go. In those days, the curfew was lifted that very night.
It was pushed back to 10 o'clock. Take it away. Remember, you're not supposed to eat and talk, you know.
But not
Let me
having,
Hold on a second. Oh, yes, Louise.
not having cell phone at that time, you had to go back home. Excuse me. I don't have COVID.
Drink some water there, old girl.
You talk about it, time. You talk about it, time. See?
That's typical of Louise, you know. She runs into problems. She say, you handle this from here on.
You fill in the spots. You fill in fill in the blanks, Lance. You fill in the blanks.
Take it easy, girl. Take it easy. Take it easy. They told us not to eat and speak. But Louise is so anxious to let her love story flow. You want a little more light on your face? Hang on a little bit there, folks. Talk to Louise while you reminisce, Louise.
What are you trying to do?
I'm trying to give folks a little look at the girl I married.
Actually, I was looking at the two ducks there, and I thought that. Can they see the two ducks?
No,
there?
hold on. We'll show them the ducks afterwards. Let's lean back a little bit in the sunlight here. Oh boy, this is good sunlight. Almost like Maracas Beach.
Yeah.
Okoro River.
Yes, but more tranquil. Nobody playing loud music.
That's our culture. Our culture is to be alive.
Anyway.
Forget the flies, man.
Like we have some extra meat. So there was this guy at the party. And since Lance was busy entertaining all the girls, apparently he thought that this guy was interested in me. So the perfect gentleman he was, or is.
Thank
he
you.
didn't want to,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
the perfect gentleman he is, he didn't want to muddy the guy waters because he have all the girls anyway.
Taking a cough again.
And eventually, he probably realized we were getting ready to leave. So he thought, well, it's now or never. So, can I have this dance with you before you leave?
Wow.
Of course. The moment I waited for, but of course I didn't tell him that, you know. And he kissed me on my forehead.
I did all of that?
Yeah. And I looked up at him questioningly, you know, almost to say, are you for real? But he's always been real. So we left, and I came back home to my friend's mother, and I said to her, but Moms, you know, I went to this party. I didn't know I was going to see a very nice, handsome young man.
What do you think about me now?
A handsome
Old man.
old man. A handsome old man. You have aged gracefully, my darling.
You have helped me age gracefully, I must admit.
You have aged gracefully.
If you were a source of great worry and trouble, I might not have been looking as handsome as I look now.
Well, thank you.
So you see, the credit goes to you actually. You know?
But what I would like to say to you, my darling Nancy,
Mm-hmm.
thank you for marrying me.
For saving your life.
No, my life wasn't so bad. My life wasn't so bad, Nancy.
Mm-hmm.
But thank you for being the type of husband you are. You know, I love to know that in 52 years of marrying you, I could be the very person I was from the beginning.
That's right.
You never try to suppress who I am, my very extrovert personality,
Mm-hmm.
which everyone enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had suppressed this, we today would not have been able to be doing what we're doing, encouraging others
Yeah, that's right.
in their marriage,
Mm-hmm.
being happy with each other, being who you are, accepting who your partner is.
Mm-hmm.
That is a very important thing. Accepting who your partner is. We have come from varied walks of life.
Mm-hmm.
People marry spouses from a different country, different culture, different race. But we did it because we love each other. And we never let those things cloud our vision. And if love in the beginning enabled us to appreciate each other for who you are,
Right.
what authority any one of us have to change each other?
Mm-hmm. Very true.
Because we love you for who you are. And should you have to change now, it meant you didn't love me for who I was.
Mm-hmm.
You marry me to create in me what you want as a person.
That's right.
And that's very unfair.
Mm-hmm.
So people have to appreciate their partner, work with what you have.
Right.
Because I always say, when we marry someone, it's a package we are getting.
Mm-hmm. Tell me something, Louise. Bimpy Indra called this morning,
Yes, you
and
did.
we were very delighted to hear from her. She lives in Maryland, and how many years married, she said?
22, I think.
24 maybe? Hmm? Bimpy, we want to tell you we really appreciated your call. It was beautiful. It was timely. We enjoyed talking to you. And I'm sure that if all our subscribers call us, we will just sit down and have a long spell with you all. But don't call tomorrow, please, God.
Tomorrow is his birthday,
Mm-hmm.
and we'll be driving back to West Palm.
West Palm tomorrow, yes. We leave this wonderful lake here, this wonderful quiet zone where the ducks are, and the heron, and the cormorant. Man, I tell you, this is a haven for nature.
Very beautiful.
But
Lovely to be here. And Lance, I finished my speech.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I want to also thank you for loving my family.
Mm-hmm.
Our family is your family, and I also love your family, particularly Rose. We're thinking about you. We're over here, but we think about you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for checking us out and being there for Uncle Lance.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Desmond, another nephew who would seek us out, call us, and we appreciate that. And having family life is a very important thing. And it should not be one-sided, but unfortunately that happens with a lot of families, that you tend to go the way of your wife family. Well, I think that is a kind of natural thing that happens because girls think about their family a lot more maybe than men, and they will say, let's go and visit my family, and the husband goes along. But you know, it would be nice too to bring your husband's family in your equation, because when Lance and I got married, we would go and visit my family in Icacos maybe once a month, keep in touch with them, and enjoy. Lance would enjoy as though he was with his own family.
Mm-hmm.
And we always spent weekends with Lance's parents. And when we moved closer to where they lived, well, then now you have your household, by that time you have more kids, you wouldn't spend a weekend, but you went to visit. And that is a very important thing, because in marriage, a wife cannot replace a mother, and a husband cannot replace a father.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, I always like to think that there are slots for everyone. And parents, if your parents are willing to give you space and, you know, they are there for you, then you need to keep them also in the loop.
That's right, Louise.
You
I
know?
always say that if a man, if you want your marriage to work, you have to try, and in some cases it comes natural. You have to love your in-laws. That makes it easier because your wife, your husband, wants to see his family, unless things are really bad.
Exactly.
But your wife, your husband wants to see their family at some point in time.
Excuse me.
And if you don't have a good relationship with your in-laws, then it's going to cause a little hurt.
But then what about the grandchildren?
Mm-hmm.
Loving your grandchildren and being there as a grandmother for grandchildren is a wonderful thing. So we want to keep the harmony with our in-laws, so that there'll be no games playing, no games keeping children away from grandparents, or grandparents staying away from grandchildren and favoring another one. All those things should not be entertained.
No, there
It
should
happens,
be a very
but
neutral.
it should not be entertained.
It has to be a neutral ground when you're getting married, and your grandchildren can visit, and you can visit, and everybody, you know. Well, I mean, Louis, honestly, things are not like the old time days. There's so much distraction now. There's so much kind of independence now, and there's a lack of bonding.
Yeah.
That causes all these separations, right? But I just want, Luis, for you to call out some of these names here. I see there's some names that we really should call out, and one is Betty Baker, Hillary Cooper. Sorry, what is this name here? Marie Gosain, Anne Lambert, Deborah Suraj, Bimpi Indra again, Judy T, Lauren Batiste. I wonder if you're related to us, Lauren, from my side of the family. It would be nice to find out that. Of course, you have Vicky Maharaj.
Oh yes, Vicky.
You
Thanks
have
for being there for us.
Sandra Clark, Anisha Norris, Salif Trilok, Alison Muhammad. I have to do this because I really am pretty bad with memory these days. Sometimes I forget. What's your name again?
Rose.
Rose.
You know, there's a joke. Call out your names and then I'll give them that joke.
Claudette Bino. Oh my, yes. We have Keith. Oh, sorry. Carrier, is it? Carrier Henry. Jacqueline Madu,
Oh yes. You-
Cherry Boudram, Dolly Mollett. Oh, she's quite a girl. So thank you, and maybe next time we could always, get it a little more professional.
Yes.
But I make no pretense of being professional. I mean, that takes away from the natural ability to do things. So as the names come to mind, Betty Gangadine and Jasmine Thomas and a host of others, we really appreciate your being with us. Because when we produce a video and you comment, you show that you are with us, and we appreciate really doing it, putting it out there to bring some joy and entertainment to their heart.
I'm glad to know that, you are getting helped. Like talking to Indra this morning, she said she really appreciates the help that she has got, and that is what we are all about, to be able to help others, because marriage is a wonderful experience. And marriage is best enjoyed as you grow older. I always say early life, you go to the back burner. Sometimes the husband go to the back burner or the wife goes to the back burner, but it is all in the interest of the family. One understand. But we really need to keep the fire burning, because Lance was a man that insisted, yes, I love my children, but I need time. We need to do something together. We need to be able to touch base. Sometimes, you're so busy with the household that you may not even be able to say, I love you.
Mm-hmm.
You take it for granted, but I love you, that's why I marry you. Someone once said to me that so many years her husband has not said, I love you.
Oh my.
And, when I kind of said to him, when last I said, I love you to your wife, he says, but she know I love her. That's why we still together. That's why we still together. If I didn't love her, we wouldn't be together. No, it's good to hear it. It's good for a woman to hear her husband say, love you, I love you. And vice versa.
Of
Men
course.
love to be told that they are loved.
When last you told me that?
I tell you, I love you all the time.
Oh, see how my memory is slipping?
Yes. Okay, I'll give you a joke with that.
Mm-hmm.
This man and his wife, friends came to visit them, another old couple. So, as usual, you're happy to get the girl, glad to get her old girlfriend to talk to, and the boys like to talk too. So the two wives walking, they're taking a little walk in the neighborhood, and the two wives talking and laughing, and the two men talking about cars, and you know what boys like to talk about. So one man is telling the other friend, he said, I bought a new car, Oh, the other one said, really? What make? Can't remember. Said, what make of car?
Okay.
He repeated again, what make of car you bought? He said, okay, just a minute, tell me something. What is the name of that beautiful flower that has a lot of thorns and we give it for Valentine's Day? He said, rose. So he looked around and he said, Rose, what kind of car we buy? Didn't even remember the wife's name. What's for the name of the car?
Good joke, Louis. Good joke.
So, the senior moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think these names sometimes we're not able to
Catch
be
it
able
all, yeah.
to-
But you said something just now there that kind of struck me. You said that how boys need to talk sometimes. And that is something that I think men also need in marriage.
space.
Sometimes, not too much space, eh? We don't want space 1999, right? But a little space sometimes, a little male company.
Yeah,
And if a wife understands that her husband is not really looking to run from her,
yeah.
but looking for a little male company.
Yeah, you have
Because
to give space. You have to
women
give
love
your
to
partner
have
space.
also women
Company.
company,
Yeah.
female company, yeah?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think that space in my marriage, now when I say space, I don't mean that every Friday a man goes out with his friends, because that happens. some men tell you every Friday night is man's lime. Now, I don't think that I would have been happy if every Friday night Lance going on a man's lime, because I don't know when the lime will become a girl's lime too. So this kind of permanent every Friday night belong to me to go on my man's lime. I don't think I could entertain that, and I'm glad that I did not have to entertain that. But before Lance had his heart attack in 2019, Lance played tennis with his brother, and every 3 days a week, Lance went to the tennis court.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lance went and walked from 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And, well, at that time I would say, well, I didn't really want to go out in the hot sun like that. I was retired. But Lance want to go at 3. I never made it a problem to say, well, but you need to come and go with me. Okay, you want to walk in the sun, go ahead. And sometimes now, when he comes back at 5 o'clock, well, I am going to walk around the block. And sometimes he would just join me to walk with me, So space, to give people space to just think about things and do things. Because balance is an important thing. As yesterday I made mention about the windmill. The balance is important. Each blade supports the other one. So you have to have life balanced. Family time, your time, extended family time. And good mental health gives you a better life.
Good for your health all around, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so we have to understand each other, meet each other's needs, and not begrudged that you get in time to go and walk and I have to be home here seeing about the children. Well, I mean, we are retired now, so I think really marriage and retirement has all the benefits, because when you're working, you're busy out there trying to keep afloat, having to work. It was not a matter of a choice. You had mortgage to pay, you had children to educate, and things like that. So, there are times when you were overwhelmed by all this responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
But you stick it out, because one day you'll be like Lance and I by the lake. Mwah!
I might be a birthday too.
And the birthday don't start.
And the birthday don't start.
So Lancey, again, I love you if I have not told you that for a long time.
Oh, you told me that a while ago, yes. After several months.
And thank you for being who you are.
Okay.
Thank you for letting me be who I am.
Very good, yes.
And thank you for all the consideration in marriage, the communication, the compromise, all the C's in marriage that has been very profound in our marriage.
I like your word.
It wasn't just things that you hear, but I experienced it with you. And for this, I'm thankful.
Very good there. That's the best birthday gift you've given me in a long spell. Can't remember anymore.
And you could always go up on YouTube and pull it up, eh?
Yes. So, folks, we want to thank you very much for being there. I know you're going to wish me a happy birthday. I can already hear it coming from your lips. Happy birthday, old Lancey boy. And Louise Gill, thanks for being there. Thanks for all the help.
You are welcome, my darling.
I'll kiss you as I did that first night. That's our love story. Enjoy
52 years later, I feel the same.
Oh gosh, girl.
52 years later, it sent that same thrill.
Imagine that, would you? Imagine that. Yes.
But you remember that love letter you had written me? Years ago, I had that letter for years and years and years. You read it at our 35th wedding anniversary.
Yes, and then it disappeared.
And it fell into your hands.
Yes.
You must be hiding it.
I destroyed the evidence.
And you said, That's why it's an early love letter.
Uh-huh.
And it says, when we grow old together with our lovely white hair, gray hair, I'll be loving you just as much.
That's true. That's true. I was honest in that letter.
You were honest.
Yeah, I was very honest in that letter.
Yeah, well, evidence. There's evidence of that letter.
That is correct. That is correct. Oh gosh, I better go before I start crying. See you guys, right?
You have to end laughing, not crying.